it will be fun. But the reason that Tim Tebow was traded, he was traded because Peyton Manning signed with the Denver Broncos. And if you're Peyton Manning, why did you sign with the Broncos?
Yeah, I have to admit I'm confused about this, and in fact, I'm doubly confused because of how much money Manning got. The argument I've heard from so many people is that the Broncos had the most cap room. If
Mm-hmm.
you're Peyton Manning, is that really your priority? I mean, obviously it is because you took an enormous contract that's got to damage the Broncos' ability to sign free agents that'll help you win. Is that really your
You know,
priority?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Peyton has done this a couple of times now, where um, he signed a mega deal. And remember, Indianapolis kind of hamstrung them a little bit to sign, good defensive players. This boggles my mind. There's nothing in Denver. They don't have a real running game because their running game was partially Tebow. They've got an old defense. They do have a couple of young guys on defense, but that secondary is not very good. You know, John Elway's not coming out of retirement to play receiver. I'm really lost by this one because I thought Arizona would have been a better fit. Miami's a better fit. The Jets are a better fit.
I don't know about Miami. I think Arizona was a better fit. The 49ers, who were there at the end, were a better fit. Uh,
Yeah, but the 49ers didn't really have the money.
yeah, what I
So,
mean, that's the argument I hear, but that's the argument that I'm really confused by, because if you're Peyton Manning, you don't need that much money. You need rings. You don't
mm,
need. Look, he has enough money. Turn on the television. Peyton Manning has never made a commercial that he said no to. He has plenty of money. Do you really need, is your ego so huge that you have to be the highest paid player in the league when clearly your priority at this point, because you've only got a few years left, ought to be, if you're a real competitor, win a ring? And look, I'll admit the Broncos defense is good. It's not great. It's certainly not as good as the 49ers.
sure.
And I'll admit that, the Broncos running game may be good. I agree that Tebow definitely inflated their stats, but
Hmm.
everybody knew they were going to run the ball.
Hmm.
They've got some running ability. Who are their receivers?
We've
You
got
know,
Demarius Thomas. A lot of people are kind of high on him. He's a young guy. But no, I agree with you. You know,
yeah, I just don't get
everyone thought
it.
Reggie Wayne was going to go. Reggie stayed in Indy.
Yeah,
Jeff Saturday, I think, went to Green Bay. I'm really confused. Like, there's not a lot of things that I get confused by. This one baffles me because, I know you say that Miami's not a better job than
who are their
Denver.
receivers?
Well, they had Brandon Marshall,
Yeah,
so
but
but they
they,
got
they
rid
had
of him.
given him
So,
away by the time
yeah,
this
that's
all.
true.
They had given him away, and Reggie Wayne had re-signed with the Colts before this all went down. I mean, I'm confused. I'm really confused by this. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be fascinated to watch the first 2 or 3 games the
Mhm.
Broncos play in this year, because I want to see what happens if Peyton Manning can't. Well, the one thing that's good about the Broncos is it's not going to be hard to get into the playoffs in their division.
No,
But
but I mean,
I mean, the Broncos got in with a shoddy record last year. But if you don't have the weapons, it doesn't
no,
help to get into the playoffs easily.
no,
I don't get it.
no, I don't get it either. There are definitely better teams out there, but hey, you know what? I will say this about Peyton Manning. I think the fact that he doesn't have very long to play, I think he wants to get one last big contract and be out.
I mean,
Now, maybe, and hear me out. You take the money in this instance because let's say he goes to another team and doesn't win another championship. How much does that hurt his legacy? Not much. If he wins another Super Bowl, how much does that change his legacy? Not much. A lot of people kind of think of him already as a top 5, 7 quarterback all time. I think he really just wanted to. I think he wanted cash, and that's the
wow.
only explanation.
You may be right about that. If you are, I'm really disappointed. But I'll disagree with the second part of what you said. You're right that if he goes someplace and he doesn't win a Super Bowl, it doesn't really tarnish his legacy that much. But if he goes someplace else and he wins another Super Bowl, that really cements his legacy. How many quarterbacks have done that? Not very many.
But if he wins another
Montana
Super
didn't
Bowl,
do that. You
no,
know,
Montana didn't do that. But would he be above Montana all time?
He's already look. Peyton Manning is already probably close to Montana in the regular season. What he can't hold a candle to Montana on is postseason play and number of rings. Now, admittedly, Montana was playing in a different era when you could have when you could really have a huge franchise like you can't have now. And
Sure.
Montana was playing for a team that was stocked offensively,
Actually,
which Manning hasn't really been playing for a team that was that way. But if he wants legacy, he's got to win Super Bowls, and I really feel like he's got to be aware of that. If this is just a cash grab, and maybe he feels good about hanging out with John Elway because he likes him, man, I'm just really disappointed by this whole thing.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't know. Like I just feel like if he wins another ring, like I haven't thought about who my top 5 quarterbacks are all time, but I don't know how much he would rate. How much higher he would get if he won 2 more. Then that's different.
Look, come on now. If he wins at Denver, here we are, both of us saying we cannot understand this move because the Broncos don't seem to have nearly enough to win with him. If he goes to Denver and he wins a Super Bowl, that's got to be proof that he's the magic ingredient, right?
No. He's the magic ingredient, but I'm not sure. Does it put him over what Brady has done? Does it put him over what Montana's done? Does it put him over? I'm probably forgetting a quarterback right now. I don't know. He maybe he's third. I don't know if he goes to second or first. Like I think that's my argument. My argument is if he's like the third best all-time quarterback and he doesn't win a ring, he probably stays there. Maybe his brother can catch him. Maybe Rodgers can catch him. But he's still a top 5 quarterback. If he wins another one, it just means that it's harder for those guys to catch him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he gets ahead of Montana.
And I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea how much he thinks about his legacy. But I can tell you that as a fan, I want to see great football. And if his motivation is just cash, that reduces the chance I'm going to see great football. And that's all that matters to me as a fan. And, his legacy is something he can think about. The only reason I even talk about that is I'm trying to figure out what's in his head.
Sure.
And Peyton Manning has forgotten more than either of us will ever know about football. He's a smart guy.
Well,
I just don't get
speak
this.
for yourself. I played high school football.
All right.
So, next topic.